I fell in love with shamanic work. I think it incorporates all of the things I'm looking for in an energetic or spiritual practice. It's really a very free way of looking at spirituality. There is some domains where certain energies work, and there are some other domains or dimensions where other energies come into play. And it really depends from where or the dimension you are performing the energy clearing from, that the energy clearing happens, or the energy movement, or download, or integration, or whatever. And it's a very hands on practice, in my opinion, because as the practitioner, what you have to do is just become a channel, truly, a hollow bone is called, or that's how we call it, for consciousness to flow through you and do the work. And at the same time, all you are really doing is managing or directing the energy of your guides and of the person you are working with or working for, because really energy work is a service to humanity, is a service to the other, to the person that you have in front of you. And it's really a beautiful service, it's a really beautiful opportunity. And it's so interesting how your own energy grows through each practice, through each session, like with every session. And this is something that I had already observed before working with some other practices or some other tools. In some cases, depending on the work you are doing, it feels like the guides or of the person, spirits, energies that came during the session, when they leave, or while they are living, they kind of gift you with something. They leave perhaps a piece of them behind or a piece of energy behind, and it's like a gifting, like an offering that you collect because of the service you are offering to the world. And I think that's beautiful. It's as if with every expansion of your soul and your essence, it kind of grows. The essence expands and cannot longer contract, because when you are doing shamanic work, you really become this hollow bone, and you really allow consciousness to flow through you. But at the same time, you are consciousness, right? There is a piece of consciousness, or your consciousness, in your body. And so it expands with each session, with each practice. Every time you allow more consciousness to flow through you, your own, or the part of you that belongs to that consciousness and it's part of that consciousness, it just explodes even more. It just expands, and it can no longer contract after that. It might settle, but right? It's as if with each session and each practice, you reach broader limits or higher dimensions or other parts of yourself. You integrate them, you open them, like you unlock all of those other dimensions that contain you. And it's a beautiful experience. I really feel ecstatic most of the times after I've done a session. And I am just so grateful, really. I'm just in awe of the work that I am permitted to do. It really feels like it's an honor to be able to do it. And I just want to do it more and more and more. I just finished reading a book called The Druid. It was written by Jeff Wheeler. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It recounts the story of a druid that goes around the world and really around the world's awakening people to their own powers, and is the harbinger of new words and new worlds. And again, he activates people, and the story really revolves around the girl that is kind of awakened or initiated into the practice by this druid. And the story again really focuses on her and her journey and her awakening. But even though the story revolves around her and not necessarily around him, it couldn't have happened without him. But then again, that got me thinking that he needn't be the main character of the story to feel important, to feel fulfilled, to know his worth. He knew it anyway. He didn't need to take the forefront of the story for everyone, really, in the story to know his worth and to know that without him there wouldn't be a story. And I think that's how it should be, or how it is for all of us, or the ones of us that do energy work or practice spirituality for others. Meaning we facilitate these type of experiences and this type of sessions where we bring people closer to their own essence, to their spirit, and we somehow awaken them to the reality of who they are, to their essence. We really don't need any recognition. Something I'm learning is that the work I do is really not about myself. And this is something I've been practicing energy work for the past 5 years. And I'm realizing that I really don't have to chase fame or recognition or encouragement, validation of my work, because the work I do is not for me or about me. It's certainly not about me. Maybe for me, because again, whenever the energy flows through, I get a reward, some sort of reward or gift from spirit. But the grounding of the practice is really not about me. It's not when I do workshops or give sessions. I used to want to have, my goal was to have 100% satisfied customers, right? My intention was that after they left the session, they will feel like, oh yeah, this was a 5 stars kind of service, that they feel, of course, uh, realized, but also that they will leave a positive comment or a positive review about my service, about myself. But it's really not about that. It's, it has nothing to do the review. That's not the objective of the session, because the practice is a service to the other. I get my recognition from spirit itself, and at the same time I really don't need it either. I don't need to prove myself, and I don't need to validate my skills or what I know or my connection. It's there, and if it's there, then it's very obvious to everyone else that it is there. That it exists. It can be it is noticed. It can be known, and I have to do nothing for it to be so. People just know and can recognize it as well, but not because that's what I want or that's the objective, but because it's obvious. And I think many of us, at different degrees, I guess, are looking or are after that recognition from the others, whether you are an energy worker, which I'm referring to us in this episode, I guess, in this recording. But I know that in many other industries, it's the same. Most times, when we do our work, we don't do it for the sake of the work. We don't do it just because we want, I don't know, the company to run smoothly, because we really want to please our customers, because we're passionate about what we do. We do it because we want to get recognition from the work we do. Sometimes we want to get a promotion, like we really do it for our personal benefit. And it's so interesting, because the moment we let go of that need of being validated, the validation and the recognition arrive. The moment we let go of wanting to be rewarded, appreciated, the appreciation and the rewards, they show up. Even in a financial perspective, from a financial gain, is when we stop chasing money or finances, they just come, they just flow. And it's so interesting to see the way it all works. So I guess the message I want to share with you is, if you are an energy worker, again in general, but especially to all of those start seeds, all of those energy workers, all of those readers, witches, magicians, wizards, you don't need to be recognized for your skills. You are already recognized for your essence by the source of creation. It already knows how magical you are, how important, how sophisticated, how special. You don't have to prove it. It already knows. And again, when you stop wanting to prove that, you drop the charge to what you want to obtain from your practice, and the practice automatically just improves. It becomes better, it's more effective. Even more so that if you try to force it. And when you drop the charge, when you drop the need of being seen, you are. It's amazing how it works. And there is nothing wrong in wanting or needing recognition, nurture and cherish the part of you that wants that needs that, and tell it that it really doesn't need it. It already has it. We really are here, all of us, but especially the ones that have the privilege to touch energy much more easily, often, readily. We have the privilege to work in service of that energy, in service of humanity, because that's really what we're doing, in service of consciousness itself. It is a service. Do put yourself in the service of the energy, because when you do, it rewards you even more. The rewards increase, the number of clients, it flows to you, it skyrockets. So put yourself in service of it, with humility, with openness, with gratitude, that you get to do this work. It's a beautiful practice, it's a beautiful essence, the one that flows through us. And imagine you get to touch it in magical, beautiful, exciting ways every day. So of course embrace it. How lucky we are, energy workers, because we get to do this. So it's just an invitation. We are all in the same journey, just in different parts of the journey. So I am honoring that divine spark that lives in me by sharing this with you. And it is up to you, and you are free to do with it what you may. I hope.